Welcome along to our 7th edition of Pirate Videos, and as we turn the corner into September, the Pirates have got plenty to celebrate. Yes, as a team, they've made it and guaranteed their place to the playoff final, and we'll be looking forward to seeing that taking place right here at Wimborne Road. And on an individual front, Antonio Lindback celebrating. He's made it into the Grand Prix, and he's also the new European Under-19 champion. Yes, plenty to celebrate, and Antonio, I've got to say that fantastic season for you this year with Poole, and now you've made it into the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it has been a wonderful season. I cannot believe it for myself, and to come into GP the next year was just a bonus for me. You know, there was not I had not hopes to come in there so early like I have done now, but that is just fun. I come to go to GP next year just to have a good time. So.
Every rider wants to get into the Grand Prix, but it's not easy, and it's not easy when you're there. It's expensive, and for some riders it may not pay, but you've really got to be there, haven't you?
Yeah, I come to be there. Hopes I can be in the top also, not absolutely in the top, but so high I can come, and I hope I can earn a little bit of money there and just not lose so much. But that is very hard to come in there and stay there just for the other best riders in the world. So, but I come to do my best.
Okay, and at a young age, I've got to say, you've hit the Grand Prix circuit at the best possible time. And also, you've collected the European Under-19 Championship. Again, that must be very proud of that.
Yeah, that was a really good thing for me, and I had hopes to win that just for it was my last year I was in there. So I just was going there to do my best, and I made it. So I was really pleased about that.
Well, it's been a fairy tale for you, because I know in Sweden you've been doing very well as well. The Swedish team have been knocking up the points, but here at Poole, the Pirates are now in the playoff final as well. And once again, you're going to be looking for an Elite League medal.
Yeah, we hope that but team in Sweden and here, both teams really strong, and I hope both of this team can take a medal, and I hope we can win also. Especially in England, we are a really strong team for the moment, and I think we come to win the whole thing, so I hope on that.
Well, I know that you've had a great part to play in that, so thanks for everything that you've done for Poole so far this year. Now we're going to see you finish the job, I'm sure.
I hope I can finish the job in the best way.
Well, Poole go into action again tonight, and their opponents are the BELLE VUE Aces. This is the Pirates' last home league fixture here at Wimborne Road in the regular season. Of course, we can look forward to that playoff final and the knockout cup still to come. But tonight's visitors, the BELLE VUE Aces, have struggled to keep up with their fixture due to bad weather, and their fixture list currently sees them something like 7 or 8 matches behind the rest of the clubs. So they're trying to get those matches in quick tonight. As they visit the Pirates, it will be an opportunity for for them to try and take some away points. I know slightly unlikely, but nonetheless the Aces will have that on their agenda. If they can amass points from their final matches, they could just creep into the final top 5 and possibly even steal a place in the playoff finals. We're yet to find out who the opposition for Poole will be in the playoff final, and that certainly looks as though Ipswich, Wolverhampton, Oxford, Belle Vue have an outside chance. They could possibly be the opponents to come, but we'll have to wait another couple of weeks to find out exactly who they will be. Jim, we've talked about the Aces having trouble getting their fixture list in, but that's not the only problems that you've had at Belle Vue, and now we're hearing that John Perrin also is threatening or possibly going to throw the towel in at the end of the year. Is this a reality?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think obviously the person you've got to be asking that is John himself, but I don't know. It's one of those things, you get the end of November and I've got a feeling he might still be there. I think he's a bit disillusioned, not just to do with fixtures, but I think with the sport sort of maybe in general. But John's one of these things that everything comes out and he speaks his mind as it doesn't. And I do think what's happened is similar in a sense to us. Somebody's actually put a microphone under him when he's just lost his 13th rain off and say, how do you feel? And he's told them. And I think it's really, I think, sort of escalated since then. So I couldn't honestly say one way or the other. I mean, I would understand if he did come out of the sport, but equally I'd be surprised if he did.
If he were to come out, do we see Jim Lynch staying with Belle Vue possibly?
Well, I think again it's like chicken and egg situation, isn't it? I mean, I've not gone beyond John staying or coming out. I think that he's had several offers for the club, and it would be extremely unlikely that I would get involved because of just the distance, really. I mean, I live in the Midlands, and Manchester's Manchester, and I think you've really got to be fairly local to make it work. If that was the only choice, and a number of people wanted it, obviously, then there's no way, shape or form Belle Vue would be allowed not to run.
Sure.
But I just don't think it's feasible at this moment to really talk in terms of me coming in or...
I apologise for putting you on the spot a bit there and doing what we just said happened to John. But nonetheless, tonight obviously is an important fixture now because you are playing catch-up. And whilst, you know, the Pirates are pretty strong here at Wimborne Road, we know that for the Aces it's points really that got to count because there's still a mathematical chance that you could make the playoffs.
I think there is. I think the only problem with a match like tonight, there was a lot of dispute over the last couple of weeks whether it would be on or not. And in the process, we've lost Kenneth Bier and Rory Schlein, who had already made all their arrangements to get to the World Under-21 final on Saturday, which of course is very important to them at that age. And they were only told on Friday that this meeting in fact was on. So they've got dispensation in a sense to be missing. So I'm afraid that, and I feel very bad about it, that we've not come here with our best team. Because I think if we come with our best team, we could put up a fight and maybe over the 2 legs, maybe get a bonus point. I probably have to be very honest and say that this is a write-off situation tonight. We're at Arena Essex tomorrow night, where yes, we do have a better chance and a better team that night, and we're on the fringes, you know. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's interesting, having watched Sky Television on Monday night, to see that we're totally dismissed from even having a chance for the 5th spot. And I think all that's done is, you know, has got the lads and John worked up about it. But to be honest with you, I have a big problem sometimes wondering why everybody's rushing to finish 5th and get an away match, and then if you win that away from home, you've got another away match away from home. It's a bit of a poison chalice to me, to be honest with you. But,
all the time it's there, obviously it's something to go for, but nonetheless, the irony, of course, is that we could see Jason at the end of the year with the ultimate prize in individual stakes, the World Championship.
Certainly, I think we're talking about that. You could see JC's back here on Sunday, and you could see him world champion, Elite League Riders champion, and I think Kenneth Bier's got a very good chance of landing the under-21. So it's a very good team, but the rest is history. If you don't put the fixtures on, you get behind, it just stands in your way.
Well, whatever happens tonight, we wish all the lads good luck, and we certainly hope that we see Belle Vue coming back up to the top where they belong.
I've absolutely no doubt we will be. Thank you very much.
Neil, we've just spoken to Jim Lynch, and he's obviously explained to us that the Belle Vue side perhaps isn't what we'd have liked to have seen here for a really good match, but nonetheless, it's not going to be a picnic for the Pirates, is it?
No, it never is. I mean, you've got Jason CRUMP and Joe Screen in the side there, so very couple of capable riders there. And yeah, it's a shame. I mean, circumstance. I mean, Ronnie CORREY's caught up in traffic, as you know, and hopefully he's going to make it here in time. But it's that time of year, injuries, this sort of thing, and it just can't be helped.
Now, the team took a bit of stick for their away fixture at Oxford just over a week ago, having built up a nice lead here. Unfortunately, we saw it whittle away, and the boys just didn't seem to be at the races. What was the problem?
No, I mean, I think because there was problems with the track from the word go. We got there, and I mean, I spoke to Nigel Wagstaff, and he said, "Oh, I can't believe the meeting's going on because they couldn't get on the track till sort of late afternoon." And then Bjarne, I said, well, let's just ride and be safe. I said, because, we're sort of basically, at that time, we were mathematically could be caught, but we basically were assured of the top place. And I said to him, let's just ride and be safe. And unfortunately, Bjarne went out in the first one, had the most horrendous crash. And I said, right, okay, I mean, that's it, let's just be safe, And all right, it probably did look bad, but I said the track wasn't very good, and the Oxford boys were up for it, and my boys were just, say it's a damage limitation, and that's all there is to it, really. I mean, I was disappointed not to get the bonus point, and that was what I went there intending to get, but we didn't get it. So it's, but it hasn't affected our lead at the moment, so it's not a problem.
In the end, we know that we're safe into that final, and you must be looking forward to that and getting the guys pumped up. But of course, there's a few gaps now to fill between now and then.
Yeah, that is a problem, as I say, because we've been very lucky, with our weather on the south coast, been able to get all our meetings on, possibly allowing for some rain-offs, which didn't come really. I think we had a couple, that's all. And a lot of the northern clubs and the other clubs have had problems with the weather, and so of course now we've finished our fixtures. They've still got 4, 5, 6 meetings to catch up on us. So now we've just got to sit down and try and we've got a couple of attractive looking challenges coming up against the Polish Select, and so there's still going to be some good speedway at Wimborne Road.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a shop window on display when the Poles come down to Poole.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Matt's very good at that, isn't he? He always brings a few people for us to have a look at, and that's the way forward. If you're going to next season, you've got to look at a team, and we're already planning ahead for next season, which I'm sure a lot of promoters haven't done, but Matt's always been very forward-thinking, and that's why we have been so successful here.
Absolutely. Long may it continue. Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks.
Daniel, important meeting tonight. I know that Poole are already into the playoff final, but nonetheless, it's not going to be a picnic, is it?
No, it's important for the team to keep up, to still winning and to have the good spirit and all that. So we take it as a normal meeting.
It seems that we've been a while since the team's been together. Does that affect the team's performance when you don't see each other for so long?
No, I don't think so. It's more fun to see each other again, and it gets more jokes and all that.
In some ways, it boosts the morale.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. And now you're feeling well. I mean, the last time last time we spoke, you'd just come back from a slight crash, and you're feeling fully fit and raring to go, as it were.
Yeah, now I'm fully fit again.
And you must be delighted to be part of hopefully a team that's on its way to a possible second Elite League medal.
Yeah, well, of course, but we got to win it as well. It's going to be tough, but it feels good.
Yeah, and it's great that hopefully the final, well, we know the final will be here, the second leg here in front of your own fans.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
have a good night tonight.
Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to welcome Mark Lemon back into the fold, your second match for the Pirates this year. And I've got to say that perhaps we thought we'd be seeing a bit more of you, but nonetheless, here you are again.
Yeah, well, obviously, Matt got me to do the number 8 role, and probably would have done a lot more meetings for Poole, but obviously I had the injury that kept me out for 10 weeks, and kind of put curtains to any sort of many appearances.
Indeed, but things haven't been going too bad down at Exeter?
Yeah, it's been going along. I mean, I've been struggling a little bit since I come back from injury. I'm not 100% fit, but just trying to hang it out until the end of the season so I can get in the gym and rehabilitate my knee, which needs a good 3 months rehabilitation.
Last time we saw you, of course, it was in the wet and horrible conditions here against Ipswich, and things looking a bit better tonight.
Yeah, well, the weather all over the country's been a lot better, so that makes me happy anyway as an Aussie. But yeah, certainly, hopefully, the track conditions will be a bit more favourable. It was very trying last time in the weather, so hopefully it wasn't so enjoyable, and hopefully tonight can be a little bit more enjoyable.
Yeah, I hope so. So you get some points.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Well, it has to be said it's a shame that the Belle Vue side come down here slightly weaker than we might have anticipated. But nonetheless, it's always a thrill to see the likes of Jason CRUMP and Joe Screen going around here and doing their best to thwart the Pirates. We've got some exciting speedway still to come, I hope. So keep with us, and we're going to go now to join Graeme and Rob over on the tower. So we're back on track for
the final Elite League match of the season here at Wimborne Road, with race number 1 featuring Bjarne PEDERSEN and Magnus ZETTERSTROM on grids 1 and 3 in the red and blue helmets respectively, and on grid 2 it's the comeback king, Ronnie CORREY, and he's in the green helmet. Craig BOYCE in the yellow helmet, guest rider tonight, taking the place of the absent Rory Schlein, who's in action elsewhere. He's on grid 4, the Isle of Wight rider this season, but a little bit of movement on the tapes, and there's no surprise there to see the red light come on immediately. It looked very much as if Ronnie CORREY might have been the guilty party. Certainly he appeared to be moving at the tapes, and in fact I see a green light, and I think that's a green light indicating Ronnie CORREY's exclusion. So straight away we've got a little bit of controversy here, although Ronnie CORREY quietly back into the pit, so obviously not disputing that too much. And it remains to be seen now whether he comes out again on the handicap or a reserve rider is nominated. We'll have to wait and see. Well, riders coming up for the restart then, so we're robbed of the opportunity at this early stage of seeing Ronnie CORREY back in action, because he's back in the pits and his place is being taken by Graeme GORDAN. So Graeme GORDAN goes in the grid 2 in the green helmet, sandwiched between Bjarne PEDERSEN on 1 and Magnus ZETTERSTROM on 3. And of course we've got our old favourite Craig BOYCE on grid 4 for good measure. See if we can get a clean getaway this time. Up go the tapes. Bjarne PEDERSEN certainly got a good start that time, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM was boxed out on the first bend as Graeme GORDAN and Craig BOYCE come around, and it looks as if we could have a share of the spoils in the opening race, because no doubt about it that mechanical problems apart, Bjarne PEDERSEN will be looking to take the checkered flag in this one. It's a little bit disappointing to see Magnus stuck at the back there, but he was off gate 3. Craig BOYCE was right around him and is now sitting comfortably on the early riding line to hold on to third place. Magnus somewhat trailing at the back, so there'll be no points and no dancing, and with a lap to go, Magnus ZETTERSTROM trailing further and further behind as his partner Bjarne PEDERSEN gets further and further in front. And the noises coming from Magnus' bike suggest that he'll have to get it back to the pits as soon as it will take him for a bit of attention. Meanwhile, it's a share of the spoils, 3 points to each side in heat number 1. Well, on to heat 2. Let's see if the Pirates can break the deadlock this time with their reserves. Of course, no Christoph Kasperzak tonight. He's nursing a swollen foot after a bit of a spill in his native Poland back at the weekend. So Mark Lemon, Pirates number 8, comes in to fill the breach, and he's in the blue helmet in this one on gate 4. And Daniel Davidsson goes in the red helmet from grid 2. They line up against Graeme GORDAN, who's already shown his prowess in heat number 1. He's now in the green helmet going from the inside gate. And another guest reserve, Jason Bunyan, also from the Isle of Wight. So the Isle of Wight obviously supplying the Belle Vue blank spaces tonight with a couple of riders with proven track records around here at Poole. This one's Jason Bunyan. He's in the yellow helmet and goes from grid number 3. It's the reserves race then, and they're under orders now. Away they go. Daniel Davidsson seems to have got a very good start, as indeed does Mark Lemon from gate 4. And could be that the Pirates could be looking at a 5-1 this time. Mark Lemon anxious to impress. Only his second home match for the Pirates this season. Graeme GORDAN in third place, and Jason Bunyan in that rather multicoloured. He's got a yellow helmet, a red jumper, a blue and white set of leathers, and an all-action style to boot. But he's at the back at the moment, way out in front, looking very comfortable. He was an absentee in the Pirates' previous Home Elite League match, but certainly 100% fit here tonight. And with a lap to go, Daniel Davidsson way out in front, looking comfortable. Mark Lemon, this is a good sign for Poole. He's looking good in second place. And around the final turn with a 5-1 maximum here as guest announcer. Stepping in also in the blank space in the announcer's job tonight, Dave Lanning. Good to see him back here. He Mr. Speedway for many, many years, in semi-retirement, living locally, and he's thrilling the crowd here tonight with his unique brand of race commentary. As Daniel Davidsson takes the lap of honour with the 3 points there, the Pirates move into a lead after 2 races of 8 points to 4. On to heat 3 now, and Craig Boyce is going to be busy tonight. He's in for an extra ride this time for the BELLE VUE Aces. He's in the green helmet, and he's going off gate 2 as a rider replacement for another Aces absentee, Kenneth Bjerre. Joe Screen, and Joe Screen's out in this one in the yellow helmet on gate 4 for the Pirates. Matej FERJAN in red and Antonio Lindback in blue. Matej on gate 3 this time, and Tony was on grid 1. And a good first bend for the 2 Pirates as they leave Joe Screen and Craig Boyce trailing in the dust. Once again, that trademark first bend from Matej FERJAN. First few yards from the starting gate, he was only level with his competitors, but he just screwed it on, went right around that first bend, past his partner, who obviously with Antonio's team riding skills was looking for him. And the 2 Pirates, as we've seen in the latter part of the season since Matej came into the lineup and forged this very exciting dual pairing with the young Swede. Really superb all-action pairing. And apart from that little bit of an error there, getting a little bit out of shape, Antonio on the pit stern. Apart from that, a faultless display of team riding and another maximum heat. Matej FERJAN takes the checkered flag, Antonio Lindback a close second, and Craig Boyce looking at the 2 former club colleagues out in front, and he has to settle for 3rd place. The Aces have to settle for a single point as the Pirates lead now by 13 points to 5. Well, what can BELLE VUE do about this early Pirates flourish with 2 maximum race wins? Well, they can have the leading contender in the World Grand Prix Championship try and do something about it, because at this time, no less a figure than Jason Crump. And Jason's in the green helmet and comes out from grid 4, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares this time. Ryan Sullivan in the red helmet from 3. We've got Jason Bunyan and Mark Lemon for good measure. That's a good gate from Sullivan and Lemon for Poole, with Crumpy on the outside, and Crump goes around Lemon, looks to try and take Ryan Sullivan on the inside, but Ryan, you know, he's had some up and down form recently, but he's pretty flying at the moment. Jason Crump in 2nd place, and well, certainly Ryan Sullivan would put on a very much of a confidence boosting ride if he could head home his fellow Aussie this time. He looks as if he's trying to outpace him on the riding line. Ryan goes a little bit wide at that time to try and cut off the cutback, and with a lap to go, Ryan Sullivan seems to be judging it just right, out into the dirt as he does there, cutting back to prevent Jason Crump coming up the line. And on the final turn now, the 2 Aussies going neck for neck for the line, but Crump just comes through right on the line. Oh dearie me. Ryan Sullivan really good, could have done with that confidence boosting win, but unfortunately for him, Jason Crump judged it superbly, and that is exactly why he's leading the World Championship at the moment, because he's got the guts, he's got the power, he's got the skill, he's got everything. He's the complete rider, as he showed that time, and unfortunately for Ryan, he had to just watch as Jason went by. He couldn't really do much about that. Mark Lemonfield in the 3rd place there, which means that the Pirates are able to share that, and they maintain their 8-point advantage, with the score now Poole Pirates on the 16, BELLE VUE Aces on 8. Well, let's just have a quick look at that pass again by Jason Crump on Ryan Sullivan going into the last bend. It looks as if Ryan's going to try and cover the line, but although he did it on the previous lap, you see Jason there judges it perfectly, perfect cutback, screws it on across the line for a brilliant race win. Maybe not to gladden the eyes of Pirates fans, but nevertheless, great speedway from a great rider. So we're on to Heat 5, and the Pirates with that 8-point lead. Track Matej FERJAN and Antonio Lindback, this time against Ronnie CORREY. After that first race exclusion, he's out in green this time, and he's on grid 3. His partner is Craig BOYCE with 2 third places to his credit. And what can the 2 young Pirates do against the, well, I like to use the expression senior citizens, but certainly the 2 Belle Vue riders have a wealth of experience between them. Ronnie CORREY at 37, BOYCE not too far behind him, and they're out this time against the 2 whippersnappers in the Pirates colours. Of course, Antonio Lindback with his success at World Under 19 and Under 21, and he's out here on grid 4. He doesn't make the gate around and goes tumbling into the air fence. Matej FERJAN there does get out in front, but poor old Antonio says, help me out of here, as he tries to crawl back out from under the air fence. He extracts himself without assistance. The bike looks as if it's coming back, with not too much wrong with that. And Antonio said, well, I must have another go, and perhaps he'll be looking to get out just a little bit quicker next time to avoid that happening, as we have a rerun with all 4 riders.
He'll be back in the restart.
Well, let's have another look at that spill there by Antonio. They're coming out of the gate. He's not really clear of Ronnie CORREY and gets well into the dirt there and just slides off. Under the fence he goes, and fortunately not injured, and he's back for the restart. So all 4 back for the restart of Heat 5. Antonio Lindback, just a little bit of attention to bike and body, and he looks as if he's raring to go this time, and maybe an incentive for him just to try and get a few extra metres out of the starting gate this time, with Ronnie CORREY on grid 3 alongside him. And away they go. Matej FERJAN once again gets a good one, but there's a flashing red light there. So clearly the referee wasn't happy with something that time.
It was a very ragged getaway. I will let you know what he makes of it in just a moment or 2.
Looks like there are no exclusion lights on, so the referee obviously was unhappy. Could be that, well, nothing against Craig, but it could have been that he had a bit of a flyer that time. But
well, we're having a restart with all 4, but especially
it's all 4 back.
For the gentleman in blue, Antonio Lindback has been warned.
And in fact, it's Antonio that's been warned.
Please stay still.
Well, there we are then. Let's have another quick look at that start there. Yes, and you can see Antonio Lindback was definitely in that replay the rider who nudged the tapes first, and as they do in all these occasions, the eagle eye of Mike Postlethwaite brings them back for an all 4 restart. Not too much bunching there, but nevertheless enough for the referee to include him back in the restart after that tumble. Second time around, Antonio was a little rapidly away from the tape, so let's see if we can get a clean getaway this time. And as the green lights go on, and away they go. This time Craig BOYCE does get a good start from gate 1, but Matej FERJAN gets the better one, and he goes right round the outside of the former Pirate, with Antonio Lindback zapping into 3rd place, and he's looking for a way past BOYCE. Ronnie CORREY who's tucked in on the inside, so with Matej FERJAN out in front, Craig BOYCE in 2nd, Antonio Lindback 3rd, 2 laps gone, and Antonio will definitely not want to sit for 3rd place there, as he looks for a way past his opponent. But at the moment, Craig BOYCE is a cagey old rider, and he knows some lines around here. He knows what to do. And Antonio Lindback, he might have the superior speed, but at the moment he's finding it difficult to find a way through, and it looks as if the Aces are going to settle for a 4-2 this time, as Matej FERJAN comfortably across the line in 1st place, Craig BOYCE in 2nd, Antonio Lindback finishing 3rd, Ronnie CORREY a little bit disappointingly at the back there, finishing 4th for the Aces. The 4-2 makes the scoreline 20 points to the Pirates and 10 to the Aces. So Jim Lynch, who's in the pits with the Aces tonight, elects for Jason CRUMP to exchange the green helmet colour with the black and white one. And Jason will be in this one then as a tactical ride. He goes on grid 2. The Aces 10 points in arrears, so what can Magnus ZETTERSTROM in the blue helmet on grid 1 and Bjarne PEDERSEN in the red helmet on grid 3, what can they do to stop Jason CRUMP this time? Either of them does anything, they will become an instant hero once again on the evening with the Wimborne Road faithful. Competing the lineup in Heat 6 here, we've got Graeme GORDAN on grid 4, and intriguing racing prospect here. I rather think that if Bjarne PEDERSEN had the inside rather than Magnus, it could have been even more intriguing, but let's not take anything away from the skipper. We've seen him earlier in the season lower the colours of Lee Adams. No reason why he can't do it here to Jason CRUMP, but I'm afraid the rearing out at the start is not going to help his cause. Jason CRUMP says, well, thank you very much. That looks like my dash into the first bend, and he's out in front with the fresh air. And Bjarne PEDERSEN right behind him, looking for any sign of a mistake. Hardly think that's likely to happen. Track in very good condition tonight. Jason CRUMP, he's in the mood for victory, not only in any elite league race, but of course in any Grand Prix race that he competes in. And he stretches his lead out in front. Bjarne PEDERSEN tucked in stylishly in second place, and this time we've got the skipper Magnus ZETTERSTROM holding on to third place. So it looks like it's going to be a 6-3 heat win to the Aces, courtesy of the tactical ride system. Means that 6 points will go the way of Jason CRUMP, and 2 to Bjarne PEDERSEN, 1 to Magnus ZETTERSTROM. That is the way they cross the line. Not too much passing interest in that race because they got a little bit spaced out. But 6-3 heat win to the visitors, and the scoreline 23 then to the Poole Pirates, 16 to the Aces. Well, we're on to race number 7, and the way the match is shaping up, it looks very much as if it's going to be the Pirates against Jason CRUMP. Well, Craig BOYCE has proved to be a little bit lively, but the rest of them are being literally outclassed by the Pirates this evening. We've got Ryan Sullivan and Daniel Davidsson, both pretty smart from the starting gate. They're in the red and blue helmets on grids 2 and 4 respectively. The rider replacement for Kenneth Bjerre is taken by Jason BUNYAN this time, and his partner will be Joe Screen. Both those riders failed to score in the races they've completed so far, so does that leave the door open for a Pirates 5-1? Speedway's never that simple. Jason BUNYAN then on grid 1 in the green helmet, and his partner, the current British champion Joe Screen, goes from grid 3. Starter just bringing him into line now. Pirates 23 to 16 ahead, and what can Belle Vue do to try and stem the tide? The Pirates already made sure of their place at the top of the league table. Nothing can catch them, so in a way you could say this is almost just like practice for the Pirates in readiness for the end of season playoffs. All the minor places still to be ridden for. Belle Vue just short of that, even though they have a number of matches still to ride. I don't think they're going to make it into the top 5, but they've still got pride at stake, and here we see Ryan Sullivan skating out in front from Joe Screen, Daniel Davidsson stuck at the back. So the Aces are looking for a little bit of pride this time. Ryan Sullivan just about holding off the challenge from Joe Screen in that familiar striped Speedway bike. Joe Screen in the yellow helmet in second place. Obviously done some changes to his bike because he's a lot more lively this time than he was in his first race. Ryan Sullivan is out in front. Daniel Davidsson at the back of the pack, and it's looking very much like a share of the spoils with a lap to go, and means that the Pirates are not going to extend their 7-point advantage in this particular race, but it does mean that Ryan Sullivan gets a morale boosting win under his belt after that narrow reversal at the hands of Jason CRUMP. Scoreline 26 to 19 after 7 races. On the halfway stage of the meeting, race number 8 features the skipper Zorro himself, Magnus ZETTERSTROM, and his partner Mark Lemon. And they come against Craig BOYCE, former Pirate skipper, and Jason Bunyan. Pretty evenly matched race this, and very much one that could go with the starting gates. Whatever they get from the gate, they'll obviously be anxious, and if Craig Boyce can get those in front, he could be a winner this time. And indeed, the Belle Vue pairing do get pretty smartly from the tape, but Mark Lemon has other ideas as he's out in front in blue for the Pirates. Magnus ZETTERSTROM sort of just about trailing at the back. We've got Craig Boyce in the green helmet going after Mark Lemon, his Aussie compatriot, but they're deadly rivals out on the track at the moment. Once again, Magnus ZETTERSTROM not really looking too perky tonight. He's back in the main lineup of the team, paired with Bjarne PEDERSEN. He certainly was very lively as a reserve rider. Who can forget that 13 or 14 points he scored when he was down at reserve, but he's having a little bit of a dive on the inside of Jason Bunyan. They're on their last lap now. Mark Lemon has ridden superbly and he's out in front. Craig Boyce has finished second, and Jason Bunyan just has enough on the run in to head home at Magnus. Poor old Magnus at the back there. So it's a drawn race, 3 to each side, makes the scoreline 29 points to 22 in favour of the Pirates, and a great ride from Mark Lemon. We're on to race 9, and once again we've got Jason Crump this time. This time, of course, he's right on the inside there where he preferred to be, pole position on grid 1 in the green helmet. We've got the lively Pirates pairing of Matej FERJAN. He's in the red helmet going from grid 4, and Antonio Lindback in blue goes from grid 2. For good measure, we've got Graeme GORDAN sandwiched between the two Pirates in yellow, a rider who did appear once or twice as a guest for Poole earlier in the season, and with some distinction, but here he is lining up for the Aces against the Pirates this evening. And hesitate to think what might happen if either of these Pirates got out in front of Jason Crump this time. It's almost unthinkable the way Jason is getting out of the gate tonight, but nevertheless it would be something of a spectacle. We're about to find out. Off they go, and indeed Jason Crump does deprive of that possibility, although Matej FERJAN does have other. Goodness gracious me, Jason Crump, his eyes would have nearly been popped out there, because where did he come from? He's no respecter of anybody, as we've seen, although, because of course Matej FERJAN has shown that although he can get out in front, he does tend to get a little bit nervous, and we well remember that pass on him by Andreas Johnson when Coventry were down here a few weeks ago. But nevertheless, he's really screwing it on, and Jason Crump is having to move out into the dirt to try and get on terms with the Slovenian, but with a lap to go, it looks as if Matej FERJAN could do it this time. Jason Crump in second place, he's chasing him down, but if Matej can avoid a last bend glitch a la Coventry match, he's going to. He's got it all the way, and that has brought the Wimborne Road crowd to its feet there. A great ride by Matej FERJAN, and I think a certain Mr. Perrin will be gnashing his teeth in the pits, and the Belle Vue fans here we said, well, why on earth couldn't he do that when he was with us? But the fact is, he isn't. He's with the Pirates. Oh, and Matej FERJAN has deprived the crowd of a lap of honour. I think he's got something to do with the bike. And yes, are they going to persuade him to do a lap of honour? He certainly deserves it, because Matej FERJAN there has just beaten the #1 rider in the world at the moment, Jason Crump. Yes, and they are sending him round for a lap of honour, and I think the crowd are going to love this, because he got out of that gate Jason Crump pretty smartly away from grid 1, and let's have another look at that as Matej receives the support of the crowd. We'll have another look at that first bend there, because that's where the race was won for Matej. You see he's out of the gate from 4 pretty smartly, and he just cruising along, coming out of the pit turn, and he's away, and Jason Crump never really recovered from that. What a great ride that was from Matej.
In red, let's have a special salute for Matej FERJAN.
Okay, we're heat 10 now, and it's Bjarne PEDERSEN and Magnus ZETTERSTROM for the Pirates this time, coming out against Joe Screen as a tactical ride in the black and white helmet, and a reserve change for the Aces brings in the number 7 Jason Bunyan. Heat 10 then, and Magnus change a disappointing evening thus far. Just a single point from 3 races. He's on grid 2 between the 2 Aces. The start will be all important, one feels, for him. Joe Screen it is who goes from grid 1, and Jason Bunyan on grid 3. Of course, Bjarne PEDERSEN on the wide outside. He'll be anxious to copy Matej FERJAN's gate in the previous race. Sensational win that was that time. As away they go, and it's Joe Screen just about holding the gate, but then through comes Magnus ZETTERSTROM on the inside, coming out of the pits turn, and Bjarne PEDERSEN around the outside. So 1 in, 1 out, and Joe Screen is left looking down the exhaust pipes of the 2 Pirates, and Magnus ZETTERSTROM indeed does put on a vastly improved first lap here, anxious to keep up alongside his team partner Bjarne PEDERSEN, enjoying the fresh air and in front. Jason Bunyan this time right at the back after a couple of fairly lively rides and a couple of 3rd places, but not to be this time, because he's getting more spaced out now. The Pirates comfortably out in front for another maximum 5-1. Well, I say a 5-1. It's actually going to be a 5-2 if it stays like this around the final turn, because Bjarne PEDERSEN takes the checkered flag. And more importantly, from Wimborne Road faithful's point of view, good to see the skipper there getting a couple of points in 2nd place. And the black and white helmet colour didn't bring the expected dividend for Jim Lynch and the Belle Vue Aces, because unfortunately Joe Screen only got 2 points and a 3rd place. And so the 5-2 means the scoreline moves Poole Pirates 38. Belle Vue Aces 12 in arrears on 26. Oh, and I think that 3rd place was good enough for a little bit of disco to liven up the crowd. And Magnus hasn't been too much in the points tonight, but it's good to see that he's chipper enough to get a bit of dancing going and get some action on and off the track. So well done to Magnus, and maximum to Poole. Up we come with heat 11 then, and this time out we've got Ryan Sullivan and Daniel Davidsson, Ronnie CORREY and Craig BOYCE. Away they go. What a superb start that was from Ryan Sullivan there, but Daniel Davidsson not quite the 2 Aces looked as if they were intent on minor places. So we got Ryan Sullivan out in front, Craig BOYCE second, Ronnie CORREY third, and Daniel Davidsson trailing at the back there in 4th place. So after his opening race victory, Daniel Davidsson has been a little bit disappointing since then. On the other hand, after Ryan Sullivan had that reversal at the hands of Jason Crump, he looks as if he's going to notch up 2 wins. But still a couple of laps to go. In fact, there is a lap to go. Ryan Sullivan comfortably out in front. Still by his own very high standards, not riding at the absolute top of his form, but nevertheless good enough to be a regular top scorer for the Pirates, as he takes the checkered flag, takes a total to 8 points from 3 rides. Minor places to the 2 Aces, and Daniel Davidsson bringing up the rear. Drawn race as we go to the interval, makes the scoreline 41-29 in favour of the ReRun Pirates.
Well, here in the interval, the Pirates are amassing a good lead, and they're making light work of tonight's proceedings. And in no small way, thanks to this gentleman, Matej FERJAN, a fantastic ride we just saw with you, and getting one over on Jason Crump.
Yeah, you know, I like the track. I'm trying my best. You know, I have good setup for that track, and I like, you know, to make a good start and go. And That's why I'm trying very hard to, if I'm not making the start, to go around them. It works good today, yeah.
It certainly is working well, and I've got to say it's ironic because, of course, Belle Vue is a team that you spent some time with earlier this year, and you've come to Poole, and now I'm sure they're ruining the day that you ever left them and came here.
Yeah, you know, it's a very hard situation, you know. You need to have a good home track, but Belle Vue it's not track for me because it's too small, the corners there too tight, because I never had any practice on that track, because in Slovenia it's all big tracks, and that's why this track I like it, because it's like a big track. It's small, but you ride it like a big, and that's why I like it.
Well, we're glad that you like it. Tonight I also noticed that it's the first time this year that you've brought two machines with you, so you're spoilt for choice in some ways.
Yeah, you know, they rang me so late, you know, this year. I was not prepared to be back in England, because I'm concentrated, you know, in Europe, especially for Sweden, and that's why I have two bikes in Slovenia and two bikes in Sweden. That's why I have here only one bike, and this time I built another one, and now I have my spare one here as well.
Well, it's good to see it, and I've got to say, even with the one bike, your form has been absolutely fantastic. It's been a revelation, and in the second half of the season, I'm absolutely certain that it's made a huge contribution to the Pirates doing as well as they've done.
Yeah, you know, I was here on 99, and I like the place. That's why when they rang me, you know, I just said yes, because I like it, and I know I'm desperate to get the points, and I would like to stay that next year as well here.
Yeah, we hope you do. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Well, Ronnie CORREY, it's great to see you back and see you in Belle Vue's colours. And I've got to say, perhaps we didn't think we'd be seeing you over in the UK again, but things have changed.
Yeah, well, I moved back here about a year ago. I've been living here for a year, so I lived in Cheltenham, and just working over here. Got married, I went back home for, 18 months, and just didn't settle over there. Didn't like the atmosphere and the life, and so I got married in 18 months and popped a kid out and decided to move back over here. So here I am about a year later.
And still managing to find room for Speedway?
Yeah, I'm working full time. Look, I got a job I do 3 days a week, so 12-hour shifts. I mean, last night, I only had 5 hours sleep today, so I ran a 12-hour shift last night. Walked the door at 7 o'clock this morning and came here, so it's a bit tough, but I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm just having a bit of fun at the moment, you know, and just enjoying it. It's no pressure for me no more, you know. It's like no big deal. I can come here and enjoy myself, and if I score points, it's a bonus. If I don't, I don't. But at the end of the day, I'm just enjoying it, having a bit of fun, and it feels good. It's been a long time. I mean, 4.5 years for I've on the bike, so you know, this is my 6th meeting tonight, so it's starting to get the bug back in. That's the worries me.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Yeah, it's always going to be tough because it never really goes.
No, I mean, I got back on the bike. It was just a matter of getting fit again. I mean, the riding-wise was all there. It's just a matter of getting the fitness back again and getting the mind and the confidence back in yourself again, I think, and it's coming. Like I said, you know, it's a bit tough coming into the season when everybody's been riding 6-7 months, and I'm coming in just 5 meetings, and it's but like I say, it's going well, and I've come on quite quick, I think, and I've had a couple of good meetings so far, so, you know, just keep playing, have a bit of fun.
Probably too early to say. I know at the beginning of the year you probably said that you wouldn't do next year, but maybe if the bug comes back, maybe you will.
We'll see. I'll finish off this season with Belle Vue, and I'll see what happens, you know. Never know. We'll see what happens next year, see what kind of offers. If anything comes up, then, you know, I think it's worth my while, I'll do it.
Well, it's good to see you. You look as good as ever.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
Well, Pirates are in a very comfortable position then, as I'm about to hand you back to Rob and Graeme on the tower. Job not quite done yet, but just a few heats to go, and I'm sure they're going to do it this evening.
12 points the Pirates advantage then, after the interval now, with a little bit of nostalgia, courtesy of Dave Lanning's match commentary for the crowd to enjoy. A few old records from his collection from the 1950s. Now we've got up to date with Matej FERJAN and Mark Lemon. Mark Lemon in particularly good form at number 7 with 6 points to his credit. We've got Joe Screen in green as the rider replacement for Kenneth Pierre, and we've got Graeme Gordon in yellow. That's how they line up. In Heat 12, will Matej FERJAN go to 12-point maximum? He's certainly got absolutely out of the gate like a rocket that time, and we've got Mark Lemon dashing around the outside there, and he's fighting it with Screeny. He's getting a little bit of stick. We've got Matej FERJAN out in front, then the 2 aces in 2nd and 3rd place, Mark Lemon at the back, so share of the spoils this time. Matej FERJAN is absolutely flying tonight. For the aces, Graeme Gordon in lively form in 2nd place. Joe Screen just tucked in 3rd ahead of Mark Lemon. So we Half a lap to go. Matej FERJAN's going to take it to 12. Whether or not he gets a chance to take it to 15 with the nominated riders race against Jason Crump, and whether he could actually achieve the impossible and take a race win there too. Well, 15-point max against Belle Vue with 2 victories against Jason Crump. Well, that's thinking the unthinkable, but it might just come to that. Meanwhile, the scoreline after 12 races, 44 to the Pirates and 32 to the Belle Vue Aces. Right, Heat 13 features Bjarne PEDERSEN and Ryan Sullivan, Ronnie CORREY and Jason Crump. And just to make life interesting here on the commentary tower, we've got Dave Lanning promising to do what he always used to do for television, and that is give a live race commentary. My problem is that the loudspeaker is about 6 foot from my ear, and I'm going to have to try and hear myself think this time. Heat 13 then, it's 44-32. We've got Ronnie CORREY on grid 1. On grid 2, Bjarne PEDERSEN. On grid 3, Jason Crump. And on grid 4 is Ryan Sullivan. And if you needed any reminding, that's Dave Lanning on commentary. Well, we've got everything here tonight. That starter seems to be adding to the build-up for Mr. Lanning's commentary by having all this chicanery, but I think they are coming into line now. Referee might possibly is obviously getting a little bit impatient, flashing the green light there. I think this certainly will be a race to see whether Jason Crump can outpace Ryan Sullivan and Bjarne PEDERSEN. Away they go, and in fact it's the Belle Vue man that gets out of the gate, and the 2 Pirates tucking in behind him. So Jason Crump out in front from Bjarne PEDERSEN, Ryan Sullivan and Ronnie CORREY at the back there. Bjarne PEDERSEN taking a slightly tighter line, but Jason Crump isn't going to make another mistake, and he's away with the fresh air. 2 laps gone, and Dave Lanning is trying to build this one up. In truth to tell, they're getting a little bit spaced out this time. Jason Crump clear of trouble. Bjarne PEDERSEN second place. Ryan Sullivan, though, not looking that comfortable in third place. Ronnie CORREY not too far away, and with a lap to go, it's going to be a share of the spoils as Jason Crump heads for the final turn. 47 points to 35, the scoreline with 2 races to go, so Pirates do make sure of the league points, and it's going to be a little bit academic in the closing stages, but we do look forward to Matej FERJAN's final possible race with great interest. So we move to the penultimate race. It's Heat 14 with the 2 young Swedes, Antonio Lindback and Daniel Davidsson. Often noted for a bit of good team riding. Daniel could certainly do with a confidence boosting race after a couple of last places in this one. And they come out against Joe Screen and Jason Bunyan. Up go the tapes and away they go. But unfortunately Daniel is not particularly fast on the tape that time. And more to the point, Antonio Lindback almost comes to grief on the first bend, but the confusion did mean that Daniel Davidsson was able to get up the inside line as Jason Bunyan anticipated a possible bit of trouble in front of him and eased back a little bit to anticipate a possible Antonio Lindback tumble, which didn't happen because Antonio just, he's a lap-a-day wizard of balance, and he stayed on superbly. But while all that was happening, Joe Screen got himself way out in front, and although he doesn't count the Poole track as one of his favourites, he did lead the race until that point there, as you saw. Antonio Lindback, not only has he scraped the pits safety fence on lap 1, but he also comes through from the back to take the ride in very, very fine style. Augurs well for his World Under-21 final appearance this coming weekend, and he came through there to beat Joe Screen. A great ride between those two riders, and good third place for Daniel Davidsson. Means that the Pirates take a 4-2 from that one, and they lead now by 51 points to Belle Vue Aces 37, with just a single race remaining. But a great ride that was by Antonio Lindback. He had a fair bit of ground to make up. Let's have another look at that on the action replay, and as you can see here, he comes up the back straight, he catches up Joe and takes the line up the inside, and he's away. A good pass there by Antonio to take the race. Okay, we're on to the final race of the evening, heat 15, and the nominated riders will be Matej FERJAN in the red helmet on grid 1, and Bjarne PEDERSEN using his number 2 bike, incidentally. Nothing wrong with number 1, but he just wants to give number 2 bike a run out. He goes in the blue helmet from grid 3. None other than Jason CRUMP on grid 2 in green, and Craig Boyce, who's had a pretty good evening, 8 points from his 5 rides, and he's in the green helmet on grid, in the yellow helmet on grid 4. So that's how they line up for heat 15. Notably, of course, this time Jason CRUMP, he just dropped 1 race all evening, and that was to Matej FERJAN. And of course, Bjarne PEDERSEN has had 2 races against Mr. CRUMP, and Jason had the advantage in both of them. So an intriguing race here. Let's see if Matej FERJAN has got what it takes with the world number 1 for this season so far alongside him. Let's see if Matty's got what it takes to get a 15-point maximum. As I said earlier in commentary, he didn't quite succeed against Coventry a few weeks back, courtesy of a certain Andreas Johnson. Let's see if Jason CRUMP is alive to the threat this time. It's a pretty good start by both riders. Jason CRUMP going for the dirt, and he's in the line that Matty usually goes for. And of course, there he goes, away like the wind. So Matej FERJAN would really have loved to have been in that dirt, and I don't think there'll be any way that he'll get back to Jason in this one. And it looks as if, once again, it's going to be 14 points out of 15 from 5 rides this time, rather than the lot. But that we could almost have written the script there. We know what Jason is like in Speedway. Although he's got his heart fixed on the Grand Prix this season, he isn't going to give second best to anybody on any track at any time, whatever. And so we see him stretching his lead here. So the final race of the evening looks very much as if it's going to be drawn with a lap and a half to go, or half a lap to go rather. It's a win for Jason CRUMP, second place for Matej FERJAN, head of the home score chart this evening, third place behind his partner for Bjarne PEDERSEN, 3-3. Final score then, the Pirates at the top of the Elite League table on 54 points, and Belle Vue Aces rapidly trying to catch up with their backlog of fixtures before the close-off date, while the weather stays reasonably fine. They're on 40 points there. Another away match for the Pirates to go in this campaign at Belle Vue, if it can be squeezed in, and Pirates take a 14-point lead up to that one at Manchester, and it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up. But that's it for this evening. Great race meeting, and the Pirates once again out in front.
Well, a 14-point victory then for the Pirates here tonight. Maybe academic for them, but it isn't academic for the Aces. They were hoping to capitalise on those matches in hand and climb their way up the league table. Well, sadly for them, that hasn't happened this evening. And when we go back to their place, of course, we've got a 14-point cushion for the bonus point as well. Well, as we say, it may be academic for the Pirates. They're already in the league playoff final, and they're just awaiting to find out who their opponents will be. They've now got a 2-week break before we come back here to Poole, and on that occasion, it'll be a challenge match with Eastbourne. So we hope that you'll join us for that. Stay watching, and keep watching us here on Pirate Videos.